What's up, guys? We are back for another Star Wars Black Series review, the most recent exclusive, and this time we're going to a brand new retailer, a place we've never been to in order to get exclusive toys. Things have changed a little bit, and now we're going to Best Buy to get exclusive. So we have got, from the Mandalorian, the IG-11, that's right, 11, not 88, IG-11 Best Buy exclusive from Black Series. So we've got this guy here, of course, in our standard packaging for the line. You've got him here in the black package, red background with the figure in the window and artwork down there on the bottom. This guy, of course, does not get a number because he's exclusive, and then the back of the box has got that same artwork as well as a little bit of a write-up on this guy. So let's do it. Let's pull him out and take a look. And here he is out of the package, our Best Buy exclusive, that's still really weird to say, IG-11 figure from the Mandalorian. This is one of those figures where you kind of know what you're getting before you actually get him, because we all knew that this guy was going to be just IG-88 reuse, and while he probably shouldn't be 100%, it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just that figure has some intricacies that make him a little bit difficult to use as a figure. So we're going to run through the joints on this guy first, and then we'll take a look at all of the sculpt work on this fella. So if you've messed around with IG-88, you kind of know what you're getting into on this one, though. So we've got a head that can rotate up here at the top of the neck stalk. He has arms that go out all the way. They have just a ball peg in there, so they rotate in this little divot area in here. They rotate at the shoulder all the way out. No bicep swivel, but you've got a single hinging, rotating elbow here that gets you about 90 degrees. You've got to watch it because it sits inside of this little tubing area, and if you can kind of get it kind of wonky there as you rotate it around. So just watch where it is. No wrist rotation or wrist hinge because it's all in that elbow. He has got an upper diaphragm cut, crunch, gearbox of some kind almost. So he goes forwards and backwards pretty well. The bandolier does get in his way more than IG-88's does. And he actually can rotate here as well. There is some rotation. He would move a little better, but the bandolier does stop him from going too far. But he can rotate there. And then you've got a crunch down at the waist. So he can actually go over pretty far. It's just all very mechanical. So it is kind of weird looking. Legs do not go out at all at the hips. They go forward about that far. They kick backward. There is a thigh cut on the inside of the leg, so like the leg stalks here, not this pad on the outside. It's the inner piece, so you can rotate there. You've got double jointed knees. You do have to kind of watch out for the actual hinge because it's really two very distinct parts. There's one all the way up here, and then there's one all the way down here. So you've got to get them both, and then you've also got to worry about these tubes getting in the way. So don't tear those. And you've got hinges at the ankles, and then you've got rotation. There is no rocker on this guy. So he is articulated, but this figure has always been kind of the weird one in the bunch because he's always had kind of problems just to be able to be dynamic. A lot of folks had issues with IG-88 standing. I never really had that problem, and I don't have a problem with IG-11 either, but he is definitely on a learning curve to get him into any really fun positions. You definitely have to work at it a little bit more. His center of gravity is different, and his construction is just unique among this line. Now, as far as the overall look and feel on this guy, he's IG-88. He's the exact same figure as far as sculpt goes. There is, of course, a difference. He's got the two-layer bandolier thing going on here, which is pretty cool. It's different. It's obviously something slightly different. It's not a huge change, but you do have the bandoliers that wrap over, and they are one piece, so they're not two different ones that are wrapped over each other, and then there's a slot here, so you can put a gun on the backside along with whatever these discs are supposed to be. So he's got some doodads back there, and then he's got some doodads up front as well. But he is IG-88. He's the same exact figure, same sculpt, so if you're familiar with this guy, you know what's happening here, and I'm not really sure that that's what this guy should be. There are some definite things on this character that are incorrect when it comes to this figure, what we've seen in the trailer so far anyway, so I don't know exactly how different he is. I mean, we need some really good images and shots of this guy, but I know certain little things on the body of IG-88 really don't mesh with what we've seen so far, and then of course, one of the big things is that the hands on IG-11 are not the same as what's on IG-88. So IG-88 had these weird kind of claw things, and IG-11 has more of kind of razor fingers almost is what they kind of look like. He seems to be able to grip a gun versus having the claws on this guy. So it is definitely something where I think we're getting one of those figures where they knew they had to get this guy out, but they also didn't know exactly what he needs to look like, so they didn't maybe have all of that material, and we got an IG-88 repaint. Now, that's definitely kind of a negative as far as screen accuracy goes so far, but for the most part, I mean, he still very much looks like him. He's an assassin droid, and they all all basically look the same for the most part. There are just slight differences. One of the other things that's different about this guy, and we'll do a comparison, there is different paint on this figure, so he's got different levels of coloring here. It's not mostly just kind of a gunmetal. You've got kind of coppery color here on his shoulder pads, and there's almost kind of a beige metallic that's going on the neck and on the arms. The figure is mostly kind of a gunmetal color with like a silver crotch area down here, and then you've got some raised highlighted detail on some of this piping and some of the greebling effects that are on here. I do like the body. I love the head sculpt on this figure. I think it's really nicely done. I'm a big fan of the Assassin Droid head sculpt to begin with, and I love the inlay of the red, and there is some silver dry brushing on this guy to actually accentuate that a bit more. But the big negative with this body in a general sense is it's too short. IG-88 should be like at least another head taller. He kind of sits pretty close to the Mandalorian in size as well. So there are a few things that are definitely not correct when it comes to this figure, but I understand, I think, why we're in this situation. He still looks cool. I love the IG-88 design to begin with again, so it kind of translates well here. The only real downside is that this guy is just kind of wonky when it comes to being an action figure in a number of respects. Now, as far as accessories goes, this is one area where 11 differs from 88, but not by much. So IG-88 has 3 weapons. He's got the 2 guns that 11 comes with, but he has that kind of meat cleaver thing as well, which I love that thing as an accessory. This guy only has the gun, so he's got the heavy blaster cannon over here, and then he's got the blaster rifle. They're both done up in just black plastic with a little bit of kind of metallic-y overspray on them, so they're the same things that we've seen before. And of course, these are the ones where they have the little holes in the back because he has pegs on his wrists, otherwise he can't hold his gun. So you've got things that we're basically very familiar with. He is, again, IG-88 in terms of accessories. He's just missing that meat cleaver weapon because apparently this guy doesn't go that way. And then here they are side by side. So we've got this is our original run IG-88, not an archive release, and the new IG-11 figure. So you can see that they are very similar. The bandolier is a dead giveaway as far as who is different. And then there is some subtle paint changes as well. You've got kind of more distinct coloring on IG-11 on the shoulder area with that beige and the coppery color, whereas IG-88 is mostly just silver with a little gunmetal and some patina on him. And then IG-11 does seem to have a little bit more weathering when it comes to the head sculpt. Otherwise, though, they are the same thing through and through. We've seen this guy, 3 times at this point now with 2 IG-88 releases and an 11. So overall, there's really no surprises when it comes to this IG-11 figure. The only real difference that we're getting is a new bandolier and a little bit different paint scheme on this guy. Otherwise, he is a figure that we have seen before, and it's a figure that has had a lot of problems for a really long time, and I don't think I'm surprised that they weren't really addressed here. I've never had too many problems with my IG-88 as far as stability or anything goes, but he's definitely never been a real dynamic figure, and I don't think that IG-11 is going to be very dynamic for most folks either. He is definitely on the hard side to pose. He still looks really cool if he's not, a little bit short, but he's definitely hurting for maybe a little bit more unique sculpt if they ever get around to doing this one again in another capacity. So that's going to do it for this look at the Best Buy exclusive IG-11. Let me know what you guys think. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and share, and until next time.